Come on in, welcome to my home. Today we are doing my Halloween setup. And we're doing something a little bit different this year because I have some overall goals for my Halloween setup. Because it has not been that long since I just did my fall decorations. So the thought of taking down all the fall decorations to go over the top with Halloween didn't appeal to me this year. This year I thought I'd keep it a little bit more subdued. And I thought I would stick with my whole library theme. So think about this being more of like a wizard's library kind of thing. The other thing which I thought I would do is I'm not buying anything new. I'm only using stuff that I already had. And I've done this before where I just used stuff that I had, and I have a lot of stuff. That's one thing to remember. I have a lot of decorations. But with keeping with those two things going, so it's not going to be all of the pumpkins and that sort of stuff, because I also didn't want this to be really juvenile. So this was going to be a challenge. Trying to get my house to look like Halloween without being over the top with Halloween so that I can actually live in my house, because I don't expect there to be any people coming over to my house during Halloween. Just me, here to enjoy it. So I thought I'd take you along for this little broom ride so that we can then get our house all ready for Halloween. But we're going to start with some of the bigger areas and I'll walk you through it. It's really simple, but remember, I have all of this stuff which you're going to see me use, and that is something to think about every year when you decorate. When you buy something with the thought of how many years am I going to be able to use it? Now here's the cool thing, you don't have to use that thing every year. That's okay. If you don't use it every year, perfectly fine. But think of it, will it last for X number of years, quite a few years, so that when you get back to it, it's still in good condition. That is something really to think about, but I really need to get started, so let's get started. A lot of stuff, and like I said, I have a lot of stuff. One of the things that I made sure that I do was organize it, so that way I could go to my garage, get out my Halloween stuff, and just put it inside. Once it's inside, then I can take the time to sort through and see if the items that I want from the years before are there, if I want to use them, if I don't want to use them. If there's something really cool, I will pull it out, put it off to the side, and then go through the next box and see if there's something that I can use. The cool part about this is having all my Halloween stuff together, I don't have to worry about if it's going to be there or not. All the Halloween is together. I might try someday grouping it as two different styles, because these were all used for different things at different times, but it's cool to have all of your Halloween stuff in one area all together, just waiting for you to pull it out so that way you are all ready for Halloween. Alright, one of the first areas I'm going to work on is this area right here behind me. This is like the main focal point for my living room. And the reason I'm going to work on that, because this is the main focal point for the house, basically. I mean, there are other rooms which will get done, or other areas, but this is what I will see the most. So it needs to be impactful without being over the top. I'm not sure if I can do that. I'll try not to go over the top, but we'll see. Alright, I like the composition of this, and so one of the easiest things to do is to keep the same composition, just replace some of the items. So let's do that. Alright, I like that composition. It's very simple, it's very plain, but it definitely tells you that this is not just a plain, normal house. Once again, keeping the same basic idea, but replacing a few different things. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change my makeshift china cabinet into an apothecary cabinet. Real easy. Taking out some of the bigger pieces that don't need to be in there without breaking them, hopefully. There. Then putting in for this area in the room where, I mean, you see it quite often. It's a simple change, one of the easiest changes there is. Not that any of these have been hard, but, come on. There we go. Wreath comes down. Alright, our next focal area is the place where I normally do my talks or like headshots for the videos. So this one is pretty easy because it's straightforward. I will replace, because I collect bears, so I'm going to replace the bear with a black bear. Now the other things I'll just play around with till I get something that I like. This is an area that I barely use because of monstrous aloe vera over here. So I'll just put a few things out, but you won't see that much. Alright, so with just the final touches, a few things here or there, I transformed my house into more of a wizard's library. It did not take much, and like I said, I did not buy a single thing. In fact, I didn't even leave my house. All of the things that I had were things that I had, and the cool part about this is they've been used in other ways, in other places, and some of them are not even mine. You'll see that there are some books, some old books around here that are actually my mom's. There's some crystals. There's some things that I bought for other Halloweens, other holidays. One of the cool things which I love to do, right there, dried flowers. Dried flowers to me just sort of say Halloween. Now the other cool thing is you'll notice that there are jars of herbs everywhere. And guess what? Those really are jars of herbs. Do you know why they're jars of herbs? Because I use them. Those are herbs that I actually just pulled out of my kitchen and put around in various places. The cool thing about that is the fact that yeah, I will use them. I will definitely use them so that way I can enjoy them for now, and then when it comes time for the season to be over, there's nothing that I'm just getting rid of. Now, the lights are the whiz lights that you see. They are color change lights so that way I can adjust the temperature, the color. I can make it go green or purple or whatever. But it just gives me that wonderful feeling that I enjoy, so that way, come Halloween time, I can do whatever I want. I can make this as dark or as light or as creepy or as wonderful. And then, of course, the music is everything. Once you find some good Halloween music, let that play and you will have one of the best haunted whatever you want to do in your house. Now, the cool thing about this also is the fact that it didn't take over my entire house. I didn't go everywhere. My house doesn't look like Halloween is spilling out all over the place. I can still put things down. I can still dust things. I did that one year where I could not put anything down because there was no room to put anything down. I could barely dust because everything was intricately laced in there so that they had to fit in a certain order. Nope, not this year. It's all just there. Some of my favorite things are the birds. The birds are not taxidermied birds. The birds were actually created, and I don't know where I got them because I've now had them for years, and I mean years and years. So I probably got them at Joann Fabrics, and I will see if I can put some links to them down below. But I love them. I love this feeling. I love the fact that it's Halloween. You can tell that this is not what I would normally have my house look like at any time of the year. But it also doesn't scream Halloween. So I enjoy that. Well, let me know what you are doing for Halloween, and I hope I get to see you the next time you stop by.